10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Stand by.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Action.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Electric Fuels, brought to you live from UWS Studios right here in Ayr, Scotland. My name is Josh Kenvin and I am your conductor for this show. So sit back, buckle up, and please ensure that your trays are in the upright position as I take you on the flight of discovery and introduce you to three of the most high voltage bands to embrace the Scottish music scene today. Not only that, we'll be giving you a listen to their brand new singles as well as an exclusive look into the inner circuitry of each of the bands. Now, to launch off today's show, we have a four-piece group of gorgeous Glaswegian girls influenced by the likes of Sigrid, Fickle Friends and Haim, bringing their unique sound of indie pop. Please welcome Afterwork Fix.
Talk
Well, that was a truly charged performance. I am pleased to welcome to the show Emma, Heather, Maria and Catherine of After Work Fix. Hello ladies, welcome to the show.
Hi.
It was a very lovely performance. Now, After Work Fix is a very unusual name, and nothing beats an After Work Fix for me like a strawberry and lime Copperberg. Now, what is your After Work Fix?
Oh, definitely just a long hot bath and a good night's sleep for me. Sound like a gran, but true.
Mine's is definitely getting into bed and binge watching Friends.
Yeah, it would just be, a gin and tonic.
Rather straightforward.
For me, it's just music. Coming home, putting some music on.
Lovely. Now, Emma, could you tell us a little bit about how After Work Fix came to be?
Yeah, myself and Maria were previously in a band, and we just wanted to try writing some songs with some more people and trying different roles within the band. So we got Heather and Kat to come in and write some songs with us.
Smashing. Now, I've already mentioned that your biggest influences were Sigrid, Fickle Friends and Haim. How have these bands influenced your style?
Well, I'd say for bands like Fickle Friends, they use a lot of like synths and electronic sounds, and we wanted to take that and use it to our advantage as well, instead of just being like a straightforward pop band. Like, it gives them a bit of an edge as well. And Haim are also a bit like kind of heavier. They're a bit more kind of rock than just like straight up pop, and we do take a lot of inspiration for them.
Brilliant. Now, do you guys have a specific music writing process?
Well, we all kind of write songs or lyrics in our spare time, so coming together, it was more like a joint effort to combine it and write a song together. And then instrument wise, because we all play different things, it was quite easy for us all to just contribute our own parts and make a song as a whole, which turned out quite well, I think.
Yeah, I can tell because you put on a brilliant performance. Now, where and when can our viewers see you in live performances?
Well, we've been offered a few gigs, but we've turned them down so far because we want to work more on our material, make sure we're like totally ready so that we're fantastic for
Very
our
wise
audiences.
choice. Very wise choice. Now, I'd like to play a game with you, a game of Never Have I Ever. I'll give each of you a card. On one side it says I have, on the other side it says never. And we'll get,
Pass them down.
and you just need to flash the appropriate side to my statement. Now, let's begin. Number one, never have I ever thrown up before going on stage. Really?
Confident.
Any particular stories behind them?
I just get really nervous, especially when I first came to university, and I hadn't done much live performance before, so yeah.
Was it projectile?
No. It's getting better now though, so.
Right, number two, never have I ever enjoyed a step song.
Oh yeah.
All the
Oh,
time.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
What has life come to? Okay, number three, never have I ever fallen off stage during a gig. Really? You've fallen off the stage?
Many times. There's like 5 of us in my other band, and sometimes we're like dead cramped. I've not fallen off a stage, but I've fallen like, tripped over like equipment and stuff like that, like pedal boards and all that sort of stuff. Is really embarrassing.
Tons of cuts and bruises.
Many stars.
Oh, I feel sorry for you. Number four, never have I ever slept in for a gig. Oh, the shame.
Yeah.
This morning.
Really?
Literally
wait.
ran to
For
get
our
you.
show?
Yeah.
I'm offended.
It's fine. Heather got me up.
I
Heather got
knocked
me
on her
up. It's
bedroom
fine.
door at 9:30 and she was fast asleep. I was like, Kat, you getting up? She was like,
Oh, she's just like me. I'd sleep through a hurricane. Number five, never have I ever been kicked out of the after party to a gig.
Go on, tell us. Story.
I think you've put up.
why
I
would it
have at every single one. Like, what's
I
going on?
went to go and see Arctic Monkeys, and it was in Glasgow, and there was like an after party, and I didn't know what was happening until after the show, and I saw like these little flyers that get handed out, and I went, and I was still quite young, and I was with my friend, and we had too much to drink, and they kicked us out.
well chilled.
Well chilled indeed. Number six, never have I ever played the wrong song during a set. Oh no, please do explain what song.
I honestly don't even remember now, but is that way when like Heather, they said Heather take it away, and I took it away, but I took the wrong song away. I took the wrong song away, and everyone was like, Heather, just stop it now.
Oh god. Number 7, never have I ever done a stage dive during a gig.
No.
Yet to do it.
I
We're
think that would
working on
end
it.
too badly.
Like that scene from the start of School of Rock, just no one catches it.
Yeah, don't have insurance for that.
And the last question, never have I ever turned up at the wrong venue for a gig.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
thank
no,
God, it's
please
not
do
just
please
me.
do explain. This is
There's always
very
a confusion in Glasgow of the O2 Academy
Aye,
and
no
the
to
O2
ABC. Yeah,
That was a case of like sprinting across Glasgow.
spitting up Sucky Hall Street.
Mine was just I went to the gig at the right venue, but the day before, so I went twice.
Oh my god, that is embarrassing.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for joining us, and I do hope to hear a lot more from you in the future. If you want to find out more information about After Work Fix, you can find them on Facebook, and their links will be below. Before you go, girls, please help us welcome our next group, The Phase.
Fate, it can do what it wants to. It's a sad story with a happy ending. We're not kids anymore. Don't look back, it's a new beginning. Nothing comes free when a spoon gets heavy. Let's go outside for a walk. First things first, don't go to the doctor. Feeling depressed with no one to talk to. That's when life pulls you down. Don't take that, it ain't gonna help ya. I'm missing you, but how do I tell ya? Mom's still all alone. No, don't take me home. No, don't take me home. No, I don't wanna go home. No, don't take me home. Turn on the radio. You've gotta live it slow. Doesn't matter anymore. Turn on the radio. You've gotta live it slow. Doesn't matter anymore.
Well, that was a truly electric performance. and I am pleased to introduce Aaron, Owen, and Ross from the Phase. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's going on?
From my notes, I can see that you were influenced by Jaws. That's the band, not the film. Tell us a little bit more about that influence.
I think Ross got me into listening to Jaws.
Yeah.
And I thought that he kind of had like a similar vocal style to the lead singer. So we kind of crept its way into our influences when we were making the song.
Yeah, it was just like a sort of like reverby tone using the voice.
Mhm.
So that's what we just sort of decided to go with because it sounded good with my voice.
Yeah.
Is there any other particular musical influences?
A big influence would probably be Tame Impala. And just a lot of psychedelic rock from like 60s and stuff.
Right. And can you tell us a little bit more about the Phase as a band? Like, how did you come to be?
Well, we're all sort of, me and Owen were sort of mutual pals.
Yeah.
And
We
then
met through mutual pals.
Mm.
And kind of found that we had the same musical taste and stuff, like went to the same gigs and stuff, so we decided we'd start a band.
All right.
And then we saw Aaron on the main stage at Tea in the Park, playing for Biffy, so we asked him if he wanted to join the band.
And what would you say is the biggest achievement of the band so far?
well, recently we got offered to play Party Palace for 2019.
All right.
And that was just with like one single that we've released. So I think that's quite an achievement, to be honest.
It must be, because the song is pretty good.
Thank you.
So I'm hoping you'll have more material by then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is there a set minimum of songs you have to play for the Party Palace?
It'll be about half an hour set or something.
Yeah.
So about 5 songs, I think. Which have a new single coming out soon within the next month, hopefully.
Can you tell us a little bit about that single?
It's one that I've written.
It's actually written by Owen.
And it's kind of different from this one. But,
Right. In what way?
It's a lot slower.
Right.
It's not.
But I think it's more like groovier.
Yeah, it's definitely got more
Yeah.
groove.
We've kind of been like, we've showed some people it, and some people like it better to kids, some people don't, but we'll just need to wait and see.
And how did you write Kids? How did the song come about?
Well, I was in the studio with Aaron.
Right.
And he just showed me like 2 chords that he was playing, and then I went away and then came back and wrote the first 2 verses within like 10 minutes, and then it just became like I was just continuously working on it, and then just like at home and stuff, and then I came back and showed Owen it, and then that was when we started recording it.
Now I'm going to play a little game with you. It's who's most likely to. Underneath the table we have all your faces there, all your lovely mugs. I'm going to tell you a statement, and I'd like you to match the face with the statement that you think is most in tune with that one. Okay. So the first one is, who's most likely to throw a TV out of a hotel room window like a rock star?
That's
Ross.
Ross, yeah.
So I take it Ross is the most likely to just wreck anything.
Wreck the gaff. He's the most rock and roll. Me and Aaron are a bit more mellow compared to Ross.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that at a house party?
No, I've not got that much money. Instead of doing stuff like that.
Wise choice. Next question. Who's most likely to do a Zayn Malik and go solo? You've all went differently for this one.
Oh,
Bit of conflict.
I don't think any of us are going solo.
No.
I think that proves that.
All too useless.
Yeah. Well, neither of us have enough talent.
Oh, that's not true. You can tell by that song that you're incredibly talented. Don't put yourselves down. Okay, next question. Who's most likely to live in a teepee making grass skirts and reminiscing about the glory days? So Aaron is the absolute hippie of the group.
Yeah, definitely.
Just living in his Volkswagen, just going.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question. Who's most likely to be rocking in his 80s?
So,
They've all gone for you, so they think you're the Mick Jagger of the group.
I think I'll live the longest then.
yeah.
The healthiest.
Okay, you. And the next question is, who's most likely to walk off stage in anger? One for yourself. So I take it you're the most vain one of the group.
Ross is just the most likely to do rock and roll actions.
Just smashing the guitars.
Yeah.
I don't know. To be honest.
Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. It's been a great time chatting with you. If you are looking to book the phase or want any more contact information, you can get it down below. Our next guests are hoping to make a splash on the Scottish rock pop scene as well as our show, so please give a warm welcome to Aquatic Button. Pleasure to introduce Aquatic Button. Please welcome Nathan, Liam and Jacob.
Cheers. Thank you.
Now, you guys are really, really good, and it's such an unusual name, Aquatic Button. Like, how did that name come about?
We pretty much just needed a name, so we started thinking of words and basically found two words that we thought sounded funny or cool together.
Started off with aquatic buttons, but the S was too much.
Yeah.
So they put that in.
So you just basically flick through a dictionary like, that's funny, I'll have that.
We didn't get very far either with A and B, so...
Oh god, I've been doing a bit of research on your website, and your debut single's hitting streaming sites soon. How would we be able to access the song?
Well, it'll be on our SoundCloud before the end of today,
right.
And in the kind of coming week it'll eventually find its way onto other platforms like YouTube, Spotify, that kind of thing.
Right. I'll definitely give you an ad. If you were to describe your music in a single sentence, what would it be?
Very grungy. Very nearly grungy.
You're not very good at making sentences, Liam.
No, I'm not. I'm in a music course, so it doesn't matter.
Well, who would you say has been your biggest musical influence in the band? Like, which musicians would you say is?
I'd probably cite a lot of 90s bands as my biggest influence personally. I think bands like Suede and Pulp and stuff like that, definitely.
Yeah. It annoys me when people ask me, oh, do you prefer Blur or Oasis? I'm like, where's Suede? They were defining Britpop long before those bands were, and they did a better job of it. But do you have any upcoming gigs, upcoming tours?
Not any upcoming tours, and we've not announced any gigs yet, but may well have some coming up. They'll be announced on our Facebook page for anyone that wants to know.
Smashing. We're going to play a game of Never Have I Ever. I've got these lovely little paddles for each of you, and I'm going to tell you a statement and basically respond with whether you have or whether you have not. Okay, the first one is, never have I ever used the fact that that you were a musician as a chat-up line. You've never went up to lassies or guys, just went, I'm a guitarist in a band?
No. None of the bands I like are cool. They bore people.
Well, what bands do you like?
No very good ones.
Not kind of like out there, like Jethro Tull, King Crimson, like old,
right,
real kind of like dad rock, you know, like that's probably the best way to describe it.
Alright. Okay, the next one is, never have I ever forgotten lyrics on stage. Please explain, what occasion was it?
I was doing a gig at my school and I just forgot the words to, I think, I can't remember what song it was. I forgot the song as well, that's how good I was at it. And I got to the second verse and I was like, I forgot them, so I just kept them playing up and no one would notice.
What song was it?
I don't remember. That's how.
Did they notice?
Yeah, obviously.
How embarrassing. Okay, the next one is, never have I ever left the stage during a performance.
Well, not out of anger or not out of a tantrum, it was more a rehearsed thing.
Right.
Like a full 4-piece band and the singer wanted some time to sit down with a guitar and sing a sad song about his girlfriend and embarrass himself, so we all left the stage for that 4 minutes. Then we all come back up to kind of restore faith in the audience that it was going to get better.
Were you struggling to keep your face straight?
Yeah, we had to go and hide.
Okay, the next one is, never have I ever been too drunk to perform at a gig.
I've not, but I've been in a few bands that have.
Oh, dear.
A gig a few nights ago, probably a couple of weeks ago now, and the lead singer was just, she had like 1 beer.
Right.
But she's like 5 foot tall, so it just all went straight to her head.
Completely.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that is not good. Okay, next one is, never have I ever refused to play a song. I see you have refused. What song?
It was Seven Nation Army.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is not a good song.
No, it's not.
It's just one of those songs, as soon as it comes on the radio, you're like, nope. Okay, and the final question is, never have I ever gotten an offer to join another band. Alright, how did those offers come to be?
Well, it was a very indirect offer when I was in a band a few years ago, and
Right.
we had a friend who was in a different band,
Okay.
and their bass player had previously left,
Right.
and he kind of just wouldn't stop talking to me about it.
Mhm.
I was a bass player in this band, obviously, and he just kept bringing it up every time we met,
Right.
talking about how good I was, and then how much they needed a bass player. So I just shut him down every time because I didn't want to join.
Were they not good?
They were kind of like funk metal, and
Right.
it just like wasn't my thing at all.
Okay.
So
And what about yourself?
I got an offer to join a death metal band when I was 16, which was fun. But at the band I was in at the time, we did like AC/DC covers and stuff like that.
Right.
And I had a friend who was into all that kind of stuff, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to join my death metal band?" I'm like, "No, not really."
Right, well, it's been an absolute joy to have you here. I've been thrilled to have been able to chat with you. We're sadly now coming to the end of the show. A big shout out to all our bands. Big shout out to Afterwork Fix, The Phase, and of course Aquatic Button. If you want to get any of their contact details, they'll be available down below. Thank you for watching Electric Feels. I have been Josh Kenevin, your conductor, and as we see here in Electric Feels, keep on buzzing. See you and goodbye.